Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the Cecil TV Morning Show. It's Wednesday, December 18th. I'm Handley, your host. Let's check out the weather for today. Today, expect rain mainly after 2 p.m. with a high near 51. That's pretty good for December, and calm wind becoming southeast between 6 miles per hour in the afternoon. Chance of precipitation today is 90%, so get those umbrellas out. New precipitation amounts between a tenth and a quarter of an inch possible. And for tonight, we can expect some rain mainly before 1 a.m. We have patchy fog before 1 a.m. as well, and it's going to be low around 35 degrees. Calm wind becoming northwest 5 to 9 miles per hour in the evening. Chance of precipitation is still 90%. New precipitation amounts between a tenth and a quarter of an inch is possible. Thursday will be sunny, however, with a high near 45, so a bit chillier tomorrow. North winds 5 to 9 miles per hour. Exciting events happening in Cecil County. The Cecil College Visual Communications Program will host the Fall Student Exhibition and open house today from 5 to 7 p.m. in the Technology Center building. If you've never been to the campus, the Technology Center has a big clock in the circle. So if you see a big clock on the building, that's where you got to go. They'll provide tours of the VCP Studios and Arts and Science Building located on the Northeast Campus. Mediums and works on exhibit include photography, graphic design, video, gaming, and simulation. Web design will be included in that as well. This Friday, December 20th, from 5:30 to 7:30 p.m., come to Elkton for an old-fashioned Christmas. Join the community and visitors downtown for carriage rides, free of charge, free horse-drawn carriage rides, hot cocoa, and music. Elkton does a great job this every year. I personally have been on those carriage rides numerous times throughout my childhood and present day, so you should check it out. It's a really good time. Also Friday at 7 p.m., deck the halls with the Eric Bird Trio at the Milburn Stone Theater. This talented trio incorporates jazz, gospel, and blues into their expansive performance style. The trio's music will transport you to another time and place with their soulful and dynamic sound. In the news, in Perryville, WBAL TV is reporting that a protester was arrested early Monday after Perryville police responded to a report of strikers blocking traffic near the facility's entrance. Upon arrival at the scene, officers found strikers preventing a tractor trailer from entering the property. One striker became argumentative after being asked numerous times to clear the roadway and resisted being handcuffed. The individual faces numerous charges, including public intoxication, resisting arrest, disturbing the peace, and disorderly conduct. The feature for today. The Cecil County Council got busy last evening with the work session and legislative session, both having lengthy agendas. Here at this morning to describe the proceedings in Cecil Public Media's Doug Donley. Good morning, Doug. Welcome back to the show.
Good morning, Grant. Thanks for having me.
Well, as we said, it seemed like busy day for the legislative session and the work session. If you want to run us through what you saw and noticed, we can chat about it.
Well, there was, in terms of content, there was a lot of overlap between the work session and the legislative session.
Right.
I think because they missed many sessions in November from the elections on. There were numerous canceled work sessions. There's a sort of a backed up legislative agenda, and combined with the new administration, it has some initiatives that seems anxious to get rolling. So they were also part of it. So there's a lot of resolutions and budget amendments introduced. And so in the work session, there were two presentations. Denise Sopa, who's the Cecil County Public Schools financial officer, someone who you became very familiar with in the school budget hearings and so forth in the fall. Right. They had to play catch up because of the missed meetings, and presented budget reports for October, November, and December, and those are complex reports, lots of information about grants. They've received many grants. They all have to be kind of rolled into the budget, and there are blueprint matters early childhood education facilities, teachers, desks, etc. Lots going on there. And then another presentation from the sheriff's office related to what's called a DROP program, or the Deferred Retirement Option Program, which is apparently quite common throughout the state, but is new to Cecil County. And it involves when an officer, I believe this affects EMS and detention center employees as well. They after they've put their 25 years in. They have the option of deferring. They could continue to work, but their pension at that point is it begins to be paid out into a sort of lockbox account or something like that, and they can work up to another 5 years, and then they get a lump sum payout, which they can roll over into their IRA or whatever. So it all seemed reasonable and acceptable, and the council seemed on board. I'm not. I'm a little confused myself. And this is just my own confusion, is that I'm not sure why somebody would opt into this when they can continue to receive their salary and their pension continues to build based on any salary increases they may continue to have. If they opt into the DROP program, their payments are frozen based on that 25-year salary level, and the whether or not their salary continues to increase. So I'm not sure. I guess it's like they begin getting paid out earlier. So it's like taking your Social Security earlier. It's ultimately less money, but you get it sooner. So
right.
All right.
And I don't know how often they do COLA adjustments. Is it annually at the county?
I don't know. After that's a question. I don't know. All right. So then they moved on to the introduction of resolutions, and there were two not exactly presentations, but explanations that came along with those resolutions, and one by Sandra Edwards talking about the Marbidco microgrant program. I'm not going to attempt to translate Marbidco as a name, but this has a lot to do with small agricultural grants and the reason there is I believe some of them are matched by the county, some of them are not matched by the county. In any case, that's what that was about. And then David Trolio from the Social Services Department, they are seeking money. They received money. There's some grant money. There's matched money, whatever. They need some money to replace buses in the county's transportation system. I believe there's 3 buses involved. 2 of them are already in service. This is just to maintain the lease arrangements, whatever. A 3/4 size, medium-sized bus, I think they said, and 2 smaller buses, which I think were what most people are familiar with seeing. Then in the legislative meeting, they voted on certain resolutions, and let's see. One was involved the sheriff's office, a medication support recovery project, which involves this came in 2 pieces, but it involves medication treatment, counseling, etc., in anticipation of a detention center prisoners' release to the public, to get them kind of like, I guess, uh, ready for work, to return to
Right,
family
supportive.
and life
Yeah,
and so forth,
yeah.
counseling, etc. And then another uh, another resolution that was voted on is from the actually two things from information technology, cybersecurity. Excuse me. Cybersecurity grant program, not you grant, and they voted. The big news is they voted unanimously for the money to build a new website for the county. So, the county's getting a new website.
So when it says cybersecurity grant program, is that website being funded through grant monies, or is that just coming out of
All right,
the operating budget?
this seems to be the thing. The cybersecurity thing is the state uh, has set in place going back a while, or this is to bring the county in compliance with what the state requires for a county to have in place for cybersecurity. And I believe, if I can recall, it involves intrusion detection, monitoring of mobile devices, I guess county-owned mobile devices, their security, etc. And a third one.
Might be. Is it accessibility related? I know there's a lot of updates to
No,
accessibility in
accessibility.
terms of
That's website redesign. It's two different things. One is the cybersecurity,
right,
which involves, preventing intrusions and
right,
so forth.
right.
It's oh, and the third one, and it's getting into IT weeds here, involves a software that combines various logs that the information systems collect regarding, if for example you see it on all websites are continuously bombarded from around the world with intrusions, attempts to
Right.
do stuff. On the Cecil TV website, we have a newsletter subscription thing. Well, 90% of our newsletter new subscribers are from Russia, China, who knows where, and
Right.
they're fake. They're not real. And anyway, the internet is a there's constant bombardment of all websites, and the county has it's important for the county to protect themselves.
Definitely.
So there's that, and then the logging. Getting back to the logging thing, for anyone who's really interested, is this is a software that combines all the logs, and so there's one place to look for suspicious activity, and presumably sends out an alert, based on severity and so forth. I used to do this stuff, so it's of some interest. Anyway, and then there's the website, which is separate, developing a new website, which includes accessibility and standardization and so forth. And as I'm losing my voice. And,
So the cost is this? Do these changes have to be made to therefore be eligible for future grant monies from the state of Maryland, or is this being funded through grant monies, or is this being funded through the budget?
It appeared to just be funded through the budget.
Okay, this is interesting that they had grant language in there, but I'm sure there's a reason.
Oh, well, it is a cybersecurity grant program, so yes, I guess there is a grant associated with it. Um, um, and that is, according to my list, uh, that was most of what went on last night. There were a lot of resolutions that were a lot of them were interrelated and so forth, but it was a
Has
busy.
there been any movement on the economic study? Last week when we talked, there was a delay, I believe, in that presentation. Unsure where we stand now.
Well, yes, as a matter of fact, there was a discussion and a a vote on the funding of the economic development study, and apparently Rebecca Hamilton is still not satisfied with the level of detail being provided about that study, and so she voted nay.
Compared to the cost.
And yeah, I think that they want to know. And here's a point I was going to make. You know, throughout work session and legislative session, um, you know, the questioning from the council about these matters, the most pointed questions came from Donna Culberson and Rebecca Hamilton. And when I say pointed, I kind of mean it in a good way, in that they seem to be looking into the details of these things, asking questions about the details, whereas the questioning from the others was more general and so forth. So you know, that kind of was the character of the proceedings, in a sense. But yes, the all these resolutions passed, but that one there was that one nay from Rebecca Hamilton about the economic development study. Donna Culberson voted yes, but said she did want to see more details.
Well, I think that's fair enough. It's exciting to see what the study can yield, but also, wanting to ensure that the juice is worth the squeeze of the cost. So I'm sure the council will be monitoring that closely, regardless if they voted yay or nay. So something to we'll keep tracking, Doug, for sure, and hope. I'm sure once a deliverable is produced, it'll be presented at a legislative session or a work session, and we'll be sure to be there and cover it in full because it is pretty interesting stuff.
Yeah. One other thing is today we were in this program we were supposed to have representatives from the town of Charlestown and the Upper Shore Regional Council to talk about this study that's been completed, economic development study for Charlestown, which seemed to touch on a number of interesting aspects that were a little bit bigger than Charlestown, like the transportation corridor and things like that.
Right.
One of those people could not make it, so they did not appear. However, in today's WIG, there is a story about this study. So, for those who cannot wait for these people to come on our show, you can read about it in the WIG. That's all I have.
Well, Doug, always interesting stuff like always, and we'll be here every week to see what the council's up to, county executive's up to, any other township when it comes to governance. So, Doug, thanks for coming on. Always a pleasure, my friend.
Thanks for having me.
Just for a note for our viewers, MARBITCO stands for the Maryland Agricultural and Resource-Based Industry Development Corporation. So definitely a mouthful, but for those who are interested, that's what BitCo stands for. So anyway, thank you for watching Cecil TV. We always appreciate you hanging out with us in the morning. If you think programs like this are valuable, please consider becoming a donor to Cecil Public Media. Remember that through the end of the year, and that's coming up. It's coming up, Doug. Through the end of the year, your donations are matched by Newsmatch. Just go to Cecil TV, www.cecil.tv, and click donate. Have a great day. I'm Grant Handley. We'll see you same time tomorrow.